future wastewater needs, and the city's effort to address that. While most agree, if not all, that growth is coming, whether we want it to or not, and additional wastewater needs must be met, there is a significant disagreement in our community on the means to address these future needs. Do you believe that the city is on the right course with its planned expansion to meet these needs? And how would you or have you addressed this issue as a member of the city council? And you're up, Mr. Alba. Do you want the microphone? Or?
We've tried to address the wastewater issue in different ways, and the way we're going at it right now, I think, is the right way. As has been mentioned before, we have not promised, and we don't intend on discharging into the creek. We have sold a lot of it, and by the time we get the permit, if we get it, we'll have enough sold where we don't have to worry about it. We're pretty close at it right now as it is, and we can pursue that. And we do have to, like it was said before, we do have to upgrade the plant some, and it's gonna cost, but it'll be worth it in the long run. As far as I'm concerned, we're heading the right way right now with what we're doing with the wastewater plant.
Okay, sir. Mr. Foles, same question. Do you believe the city is on the right course with the planned expansion to meet these needs? And how would you, or have you, addressed this issue as a member of the city council?
Obviously, I feel we're on the right course. I voted for the plant that we have right now that is being discussed. 2 minutes isn't going to come close. I will tell everyone I have a chart, and I'll be happy to visit with everyone more after the meeting. There's two types of permits in the state of Texas. You can get a discharge permit or a non-discharge permit. If you get a discharge permit, you do not have to have any storage. You can turn on the faucet and dump it in the creek. The city has always said that's not our goal. For that reason, we are now up to almost 30 million gallons of storage, which would be 30 days of storage when we hit 1 million gallons. Right now, we currently have flows of about 80,000 gallons. So we have plenty of time to continue building. We have passed an ordinance that requires new developments to contribute to a fund to increase that storage or to provide land for reuse. The more land we get, the better. According to the City of Austin's, one of their most recent models is now showing that based on the information we have, we're looking at about 10 to 15 days a year that we would have to discharge when we hit 1 million gallons. So there's an assumption there we wouldn't add another gallon of storage or of 210 land. Those days would be when the creek is running at a flow level that the water is already so poor of quality it would not be a degradation anyway, and plus what we're putting there wouldn't be a degradation on most other days. That's my 2 minutes, sorry. I've got plenty more.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Busby, same question. Do you believe the city's on the right course with the planned expansion to meet these needs? And how would you, or have you, addressed this issue as a member of the city council?
I believe we're on the right track, and yes, I've addressed it by being a member of the city council. I have to defer to Councilman Foles, who's the expert on it. What he just told you is some outstanding information about the current situation. There has been an incredible amount of misinformation that's been put out about the wastewater permit, et cetera, et cetera. Some of these folks don't live in the city limits, cannot vote, and they have happily funded some of the candidates here. I won't say any names, but it's a very contentious issue. No solution is going to be inexpensive. They're all going to be expensive. But just to relay, I was walking neighborhoods, spoke with a gentleman last night. All he had heard is that we were going to discharge. He's been here in the area all his life and just hated to see that. And when we started explaining to him the details of how this thing is going to work, we want to sell the water. We want to either use it for beneficial reuse or possibly direct potable reuse. That's what we want to do, and that's the way we've been working.
All right, thank you, sir. Talene, Same question. Do you believe the city is on the right course with its planned expansion to meet these needs? And how would you, or I guess it would be, how would you address this issue should you be elected to the city council?
This is an issue that I have some concerns about. I can understand from the perspective of those opposing the discharge that even if the current council is committed to not discharging, if there's a permit that allows them to and there's not an agreement that prevents it, what's their guarantee that there will be a remedy down the road if something happens that shouldn't? What if the council changes and that commitment doesn't stay there? I think that's an important issue that we need to address for those in the community who are concerned about it. The concern that I have is it's my understanding that historically this area has been protected, that there hasn't been discharge into this creek, or into the areas that feed the particular aquifers that are affected hydrologically by this creek. I'm not sure that I would want to be the community that changes that if there's a way to avoid it. I'd like to more fully explore the other alternatives. And I do have some concerns about the impacts on the creek. I understand that there's been an indication from the city of Austin that the degradation is not of a level that they are going to continue fighting about. It's not that there's no degradation, it's that the grade, that we stay within the grade that we are currently in with some potential impact. So maybe we go from, an A+ to an A-, but we're still reducing in some level, and that is a concern of mine.
All right, Mr. Schultz, same question. Do you believe the city is on the right course with its planned expansion to meet these needs, and how would you address the issue should you be elected as a member of the city council?
So the short answer, Walt, is no. I don't think that the city is on the right track in terms of its plan to request the permit to be able to dump the effluent into Onion Creek. I think that's a mistake. I think that's short-sighted. It's a cheap, easy solution that I don't support. So I'd like to kind of tie this back to my previous answer to the previous question about permitting fees and impact fees for affordable housing. And so I think there may be, based on some of the other answers, there may have been some misunderstanding of my answer to that question. So specifically, when I'm talking about incentivizing developers to build more affordable housing, houses in the 250 to 400K range, reducing the impact and permitting fees on those houses only. There's plenty of houses out here in the $4, $5, $6 million plus. We don't need to reduce the cost of those houses. In fact, I'd like to increase them to slow down the growth, if I'm being honest with you. And I wasn't aware that the city had recently looked to reduce impact fees and is further going to look to reduce the impact fees for all but affordable houses, again, 250 to 4. Why are we reducing those fees? Why not keep those fees where they are? Or if it's legally possible, even increase those fees and set aside that money to acquire the land necessary for effluent storage ponds or for upgrading the wastewater facility plant to the similar technology that the city demanded from Belterra, the MBR technology, which purifies the water to a much higher quality than what the city currently does, and is what the dumping on.
Thank you, Harrison.